All right, we got that. Now let me set this here. Doom, 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 doom. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. I want to say good morning to, man, I'm going to mess the name up. Seneca, and Miss Envy. Miss Envy, I want, and V, good morning to you as well. The phone lines are open. There, you can give us a call. We'll talk about today is Black Conversation, and we're gonna talk about a little bit of everything. We'll actually open up the phone line. So if you got something that you want to talk about that's on your heart that you want us to discuss, give us a call. All you have to do is dial 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Uh Captain Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Captain Leonard, how you doing this morning, sir?
I am doing fine. How are you?
Good deal. Good deal. Now, Leonard, we always start off, and I like to start off, man, talking about the political world and what's going on because you're so astute. Ain't that the word astute? Ain't that how you say it? Astute? How you say the thing?
Yes, we'll go with that.
With the political world and what's going on in it. Now there was another failure last night for our president, man. They tried and they had two Democrats that actually and one young lady, man. I saw how the Republicans, she's a Democrat, and the Republicans, when she voted against the bill, they came patting her on the shoulder and giving her little hugs and all kind of things. And man, I was like, man, what is really going on? Only thing we're trying to do is give people the right to vote. They keep
Right,
shooting this thing down, Leonard. They keep shooting it down, and now they got people that's on the president's own party going against it, man. Vote two of them voted against it.
right.
Why?
That's why I told people when the line is so thin, it's hard to win.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a huge majority in anything. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost stacked one against another. That almost always ensues a fight. For the very simple fact that one, a lot of people are easily persuaded.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody finally reached a price.
Yeah, yeah. You hate to think
Okay,
about it, Lord, but yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
they found their price,
Mm-hmm.
and so they switched.
Mm.
Trust me, and they will usually be the culprit of the most things, and they're very suspect.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people you have to go after and remove from office. Let me tell you how ignorant they are in Florida. Uh, what's that represent? DeSantis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it would be different if it wasn't evident to the simple, like myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the senator in Florida has proposed a bill. He don't want nothing taught in Florida schools that make white people feel bad.
I said, wait a minute. You got
Senate
to think.
Bill, Senate Bill 148 in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
an actual bill to combat critical race theory and all these teachings of the truth of history,
Mm-hmm.
has codified it into Senate Bill 148 to say that public schools shouldn't teach things that make white people feel bad.
Why
That's
don't
how
why don't
that's how
white
ignorant that's how ignorant they are in Florida.
now I got a simple question and some people might not like me when I say this, but I'm asked the question because I'm the question asker.
Mm,
Why don't white people stop doing things that make themselves look bad?
that ain't never the answer. Remember, I'm the bad guy in the room
Mm.
because I bring up those things that are clear and direct
Mm-hmm.
and are solutions for a lot of problems. But
Mm.
if you choose not to do them,
Yeah.
if you choose not to change your behavior,
Come on.
whose fault is that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you
Nobody.
would stop getting pregnant if you used a condom.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you would.
Or
Well,
practice a
let's
little
look at the
abstinence.
research.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wearing a condom is almost 99% effective against pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can be 99% protected against pregnancy if you use a condom.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
And you
But
know
you won't use it, but complaining
mhm,
about getting pregnant. Kill
exactly.
yourself.
Or my thing is what about this obstinate abstinence thing? You know, it's just not have
Yeah,
sex at
yeah,
all.
yeah. Because that works 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's 100.
You'll
Now that's
never get pregnant or a sexually transmitted disease if you
exactly.
practice abstinence. That's a fact.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. Ain't no two ways about that.
I mean, that's a
On,
fact.
yeah.
But let's not teach people that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's on the other side of the coin with the liberals. Here's the answer to the question.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the solution to the problem.
Yeah.
But you'd rather not do that because you prefer
Mm-hmm.
something else. Okay, you deserve what you get.
I love the way it make me feel. I love the way it
Right?
make me feel. Well, how do you feel about having to feed these 10 kids that you ain't got no money to feed?
Right. How about you stop doing racist stuff? How about that? You ever thought of
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
Did that ever occur to you to
Mm-hmm.
stop doing racist things?
And so you
Man, shut up. You stupid.
stop don't print anything or do anything that make white people feel bad. Let's not do
Ain't that a lot of nerve?
I can't get away from that one, man. I'm trying to move on, but I can't get away from
Y'all
that
got
one.
people sitting in office running this country that freaking ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking about you don't vote. Let more people like this get elected from those areas where they draw the lines where only people like this will be elected.
Yep.
And then you can stop going, I don't know what happened. I can't believe this. Why not? Why don't you
Mm-hmm.
believe it? It's there in
Mm-hmm.
your face.
Exactly.
You have to go out and vote against these people. Wherever you see them at, I don't care if you don't like politics or nothing. Tell people, vote against that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you was watching a game and you wanted your team to win.
Yeah.
Just like you was rooting for them Steelers.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. Root for decent people in office so we can get these freaking racists out of office. Like Mr. DeSantis in Florida.
How in the world could he stand before his people that he's supposed to represent trying to do something like that, trying to pass a bill like that?
Yeah, the sad white people bill. The sad white people bill.
Yeah. Might as well say it is what it is. Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Every time I see their faces, it ticks me off because you know who they are and you see that they're getting support from people. And then you sit around and wonder, I don't know why the world is the way it is today. Because of a-holes like this. That's why it is.
Mm. And
why do you got time for that crap?
I'm honestly speaking, I'm a little blown away behind that one, man, because I didn't know about that. And to know that there's people in our day and time that don't want to deal with the truth.
No, they don't.
They don't want to deal with
I told y'all this. I tell y'all this every day.
Mm-hmm.
You going after people you don't know about things that allegedly they did when your grandfathers and fathers were raping people at a rate that was absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Trafficking children,
mm-hmm.
dehumanizing people, and still doing it today.
See, Leonard, it sounds to me, and make it clear to me, brother. But it sounds to me is a lot of things that we look at, that we vilify today, trafficking, doing all that we say is so terrible today is the very things that they did back in the day.
Yes.
And it was normal. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You vilify. I'm 50 years old. You don't vilify people that look like me for over 40 of the years I've been here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But now when somebody want to teach the truth, you're against that. I'm against you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm against you because you're against the truth.
Exactly.
You didn't care nothing about how we felt.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it turns around, you're always seeking empathy for the murderer, the rapist, the most heinous individual who's known throughout the world and across this planet for wreaking havoc on people. Simply because of the color of their skin.
I want you to answer this question for me.
That's what hell is for.
Yes, sir. Answer this very simple question for me. And I don't have any fancy way of posing this question. So I'm just gonna put it out there. I ain't got no fancy. I try to be a little clever with some of the ways I pose my questions. I ain't got no fancy way to pose this question. But truth of the matter, answer for me. Where have that individual, the people that we're talking about, where have they ever gone and not caused chaos, bloodshed, hurt, and havoc? Name one place that they've gone and not caused that.
I don't know. You let me. I don't never hear. I don't. I haven't. I'm pretty well read.
I'm
pretty well read.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm just saying. I mean, yeah. History ain't on your side.
Nah, I can't think of. And if anybody that's listening to the sound of my voice, we got quite a few people that's listening, and if we rub you the wrong way, we don't apologize.
I don't.
Yeah, but my thing is this right here. Call us, please call us, and we're not gonna beat you up or bash you. We're gonna have an intellectual conversation. But tell me one place where this individual that we're speaking about this morning has gone and not caused chaos, havoc, bloodshed, disaster. Name one place that they've gone and that has not followed them
with the intent to do such.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. I'm saying it like that. I'm saying it real slow, and I'm not calling anybody anything other than very intelligent. But I want to make sure that you get the number 508-924-3521. Please give us a call. The phone just wrong. The phone just wrong. Somebody call. Who we got on the phone line? Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Morning, right here. It's Kurt.
Man, good morning, Kurt. Man, you called it a perfect time, brother. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm all right. Let me mute this phone. Okay. Let me mute this TV.
Okay.
Talking something I want to hear, but I can bring it back. What's up?
Kurt, we're asking a question. We're talking about how a certain individual, and I don't have to tell you who we're talking about. A certain individual, everywhere they've gone, they've caused havoc, chaos, bloodshed, and disaster. But Curtis, I'm asking a question. I need you to help me understand. Help Leonard, because he said he's very, very well read, and he can't think of a place either. Where have this individual gone throughout history, that they have not caused havoc, hell, and all kind of chaos? Name one place, Curtis. And the phone gets real quiet.
As my mother used to say, that ain't nothing but the devil in hell. Let's just call it the devil.
Yeah.
For lack of a, let's just call it the devil. So no one gets offended.
Okay. Don't want to offend nobody, right?
So we'll just say, where has the devil gone that he has not sought to seek to kill and destroy?
Where have he gone and caused peace? Yeah, where have the devil gone and caused
devil now?
Yeah.
Because that's how we know the devil. By what he does.
Yeah.
Because if he was doing right and he was doing the good thing and he was doing and helping and serving and being a great part of, we wouldn't even have bad stories to tell.
So Curtis, help me understand.
First off, let me say, what's up, Al? What's going on?
Brother, good morning. I hope you're feeling great.
Mountain State. Man, you can't really, we're not going to spend time searching for something that ain't there.
Thank you.
Or trying to shift a narrative to make it appear that it's there. Because then we're doing an injustice to all of those lives that have been taken, shaken,
Thank
and
you.
or destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do want to clarify this, and I do want to throw this out there. I'm not going to say that the devil is in all of them. I ain't going to say it
Mm-hmm.
because my humanity says that it's got to be slim to few. You know, it's got to be one. Um, because I truly believe if it was all the God that I serve would have done wiped them off the planet by now.
Mm-hmm.
What's shameful is his way of life is being sustained by human ignorance and fear. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the tactic is fear. Um, if you pay close attention to what the devil has done over the years, is when he could not beat it, then he would work to instill a level of fear in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can put fear in you, then I can accomplish whatever mission I got.
Mm-hmm.
I can make you scared to talk back, scared to fight back. If I can just make you scared to do those things, um, I can win. Even though, truthfully, in a situation where it's hand to hand combat, I would beat you every time.
Mm-hmm.
But because of my fear won't even allow for me to use my hand.
Mm.
So, you know, and then there's the 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 emotional feeling. I guess you would call it an emotional feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That thing that make you feel good.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that has been used. If I can't beat you, then I'll give you something that makes you physically feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? This is a tool. It's a strong topic right here. Especially for me because I understand and I know exactly where the roots of where I come from, and I accept that. I embrace that. You know what I mean? But all at the same time, it's like you brothers saying, man, history. I can't look in history anywhere and find where
The,
in the devil's movement where he has not left murder, mayhem, chaos, and destruction
mm-hmm.
as a
Mm-hmm.
pathway. I can't find it. And I'm not gonna lie and try and say I can. I can't.
Exactly. Exactly. And Leonard, he said that was his mission. That was his mission to go in and out here and yonder to find out who he could devour. And that's been his mission.
I
What do
mean,
you say to
it's
that?
in the book.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not calling you out because of a certain characteristic other than the fact that this is how you behave. This is what you've
Mm-hmm.
done.
Come on.
We are so accepting of people who have made mistakes
Mm-hmm.
in our culture. When they cast you out of their social strata, you can always find salvation, support from the very people that your people have oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
You can turn to the very people that you have oppressed for love, and they will embrace you and take you into their community. Despite what you look like, all you have to come is with a clean heart. All you have to do. But if you don't feel the remorse, then you on the other side. If you want to stand up and show I am not these people, then don't be like them. Don't act like them. Don't stand with them in what they do. You ought to be in line trying to get rid of Governor DeSantis the moment you have the opportunity.
Exactly.
Not governor, excuse me, Senator
DeSantis
in Florida.
Yeah.
That don't propose the what they termed it, the white fragility bill. Why should he? The white fragility bill. Come on now. You passing a bill in legislation because white people shouldn't have to feel bad, and they shouldn't have to be made to feel bad because they white. And you shouldn't teach lessons in school about history if they make white people feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. But you was raping and killing and hanging and murdering and everything else. But you can't sit your white behind in a seat and learn your history. Because I sure know mine. Curtis knows his. But yet you want to tell a lie about yours. You want to cover up the truth. You don't even want the truth taught. I'm not saying you a devil by the nature of the color of your skin. You're a devil by the witness of your own heart.
Exactly.
That's what makes you a devil. It's the witness out of your heart. Your own mouth comes your sentence, your conviction. Nothing that I do. Just what you know is wrong.
Exactly.
Bill 148 in Florida. Go look it up. I'm not making nothing up. I don't have to. I don't need to talk about 100 years ago because you just showed Jay last week. That's why it keeps going on, because you keep doing awful crap to people. You keep voting against health care. You keep voting against the most needy people in the world. Children, elderly, disabled. All you want to do is take from the most fragile people on the planet. Why? Because you're doing the work of your master. That's why. That's how you serve your master. That's how we know you. I don't even care what color you are. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Come on.
Why are you doing what you're doing? I've never heard of this being done by anybody but those that serve the devil.
Let me go to Curtis. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? You wanted to say something a second ago.
Yeah, Leonard just said something. And brother, you just made me think about something Dr. King said. Dr. King said, I want to grow up in a land where our children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Right? And I take what the brother just said. All we doing is judging you by the content of your character.
That's exactly.
It. Got nothing to do with your skin. Your character has shown throughout history that you speaking things that the devil mandates to be in his wheelhouse. DeSantis is a son of the Confederacy.
Thank you.
So we cannot expect nothing else. He's a son of the Confederacy. No, that's the organization right down in that lane. But you know, he gonna get his day. Because see, the one thing he's not accounting for, as crazy as this may sound, is Florida like the party.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And ain't nobody took over the party more than the African American Latino community in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And all
the face of oppression
that slam it on and trying to oppress, what's going to wind up happening if we go spiritual, and I laugh at it when I think about it, is they going to all show up for the tentative meeting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they all going to give their accounting. And when they give their accounting, it's going to turn into a party.
Yes, sir.
Once it turn into a party, people going to realize, hold on now, we got to make our elections show.
Mm-hmm.
And it will carry the first. See, what's happening in America, we have already seen it in history in other nations. And I hate to say this, and I don't want to believe that this is going to happen. But with the way things are going, there is no alternative. It is my belief that what we see in Russia and France is going to happen here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea of this whole voting thing, in my opinion, is because what they have been able to hide behind for years, they can't hide behind it no more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to switch.
The country has always been more liberal than conservative.
Mm-hmm.
When you consider the liberal conservatives. See, they don't like to put them two terms together.
Mm-hmm.
Because the two terms, if you put them together, what happens is you diffuse their initiative. You diffuse their strategy. So they don't like to put the two terms together. So you won't catch on to the fact that they have been a minority here for a very, they have been a minority here for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it is in my opinion that what is fitting to happen is your liberal conservative is fitting to say, hold on, man. I don't want to be on that train. You great make these people make a decision. You're putting these people in a position where they got to make a decision on life or liberty.
Mm-hmm.
But you got large populace of people saying, no, I deserve both. I deserve both.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got to choose between my life and my liberty. How can I have life if I don't have liberty?
Come on.
What are you talking about, man?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about, man? Like the folks say in the street, what are you talking about, man?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you now?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we see.
Exactly.
I'm going to do what I said I was going to do right here. I'm going to get my popcorn and I'm going to sit back and enjoy the show.
Exactly. I'm going to switch up a little bit while staying the same. This thing, critical race theory. Critical race theory. A lot of people think that this is something that is new, that just came across the pike a couple of years ago. But critical race, I'm reading something from an article I just pulled out. Critical race theory or origins began in 1970 as various legal scholars, including Derek Bell, a black civil rights lawyer who taught at Harvard Law School, and others began to examine how the law and legal system serves the interest of the wealthy and powerful at the expense of others. Then talk to me. That's
That is
back in
exactly
1970.
that is but that is exactly what it is. One of the foundations of my dissertation is
Mhm. Use your phone,
from
Curtis.
the perspective of critical race theory
Mm-hmm.
as it relates to education,
Mm-hmm.
specifically on the role and there's some socio-cultural factors that affect academic achievement for black males
Mm-hmm.
in public schools, grades usually 8 through 12, and
Mm-hmm.
how racism even affects the delivery of public education
Mm-hmm.
and how young black boys fit in and how they behave and the results from some of these socio-cultural factors.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that was going back and using critical race theory to show the disparities. It originated as a legal study because there was disparity in the legal system, injustice.
Mm-hmm.
We know
Absolutely.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it even further as it expanded, it started to say, wait a minute, racism is just not in the legal system. It's in environment,
Mm-hmm.
it's in education,
Yep. Yep.
it's in medical care,
Mm-hmm.
it is in every institution in the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
Law enforcement. We're gonna sit and study law enforcement, and you're gonna study it because you know it's there, you're gonna study it because you're pretending like it's not.
Mm.
Because just studying it don't tell me nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially one, what are your three problems, three questions? You know, you start off with usually three great questions to begin any research with. You pick three and then you go and you research those and things will emerge, and then man, this stuff is all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there's an entire theory
Mm-hmm.
on how race is embedded in American culture.
In the verifiable. In the
Yes.
verifiable. Yes,
And so
absolutely.
these are the things that we're doing today, and these are the things that we're trying to fix.
Mm-hmm.
And we're approaching it from that way. The only saving grace in America.
Let me step in for a second.
Yeah.
When you say we, because I know how you feel about that word we.
Mhm.
When you say we, who exactly are we talking about? Because not
Those
everybody.
people interested in the critical study of the issue, not
Come on.
just opinion, not
Come on.
just BS,
Yeah.
not just how you feel.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Come on. Mm-hmm.
When the educated go after research
Mm-hmm.
for solution to problems,
Mm-hmm.
not to sell you nothing or to see
Come on.
what product gonna work. No, just
Mm-hmm.
knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
just pure knowledge, the evidence of it, the thing, not how you feel.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Say it.
The only saving grace in America, Bernie Sanders said it the best. Now is the time to stand up for democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Not the color of your skin. Democracy is being attacked. So
Mm-hmm.
the only saving grace in America is because we've never been under, like I heard Kurtz talk about the other European nations and their history with these issues and governance. What we don't have in America is an aristocracy.
Mm-hmm.
None are noble here.
Mm-hmm.
They want to believe that they brought them bloodlines with them, but none are noble, none are just, none of that. These were people who were born into, and they had these titles, and they gave them titles so they could rule over people. The aristocracy were the people that ruled over these other places. France claims democracy, but they still pay homage to the aristocrats.
Mm-hmm.
So though they have those issues, thus the creation of America.
Yeah.
where everyone should have that liberty, life, and the pursuit of happiness.
Absolutely.
As detailed in
Absolutely.
our Constitution, our entire declaration on how we felt about the monarchy and all this when these people came here and why they were taking the stand for freedom, freedom, freedom. And the first thing they do was oppress.
Exactly. Exactly. And see, the thing about it, man, black and brown people has been placed in that situation, man. I can't remember a time when they wasn't placed in that situation. I'm gonna go back to what I talked about earlier. And before I do that, the phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Curtis, unmute your phone, man. And this Derek, I'm doing some research on Derek Bell. And I said, he was one of the ones that started the critical race theory, the study of it. And he was a professor at Harvard law school. One of the things that is written here, he said 55 were white men, talking about the people that actually was over the board and a part of the power committee, if you will. 55 were white men. None were women of color. To protest alongside students, activists against the lack of diversity, Professor Derek Bell threatened to permanently leave Harvard unless the school hired a black female professor for the tenure track position. So he was fighting back then in 1970 something. He was fighting. He had good, what people say, a good job. He had a good job. But he said, look, and he must have he had to have some clout, because if he gonna go up there before them people and say, look here, I'm gonna leave unless y'all hire. He had to have some kind of pull. Curtis, talk to me, man. This has been, and this is 1970, this is 2020. We're still having to fight.
I'm glad Leonard said what he said,
because
for those folks who didn't understand what he was saying, I'm gonna make it a little clear for you. Because in our modern era, we might not be used to hearing it the way you just heard it. So for those who are trying to figure out, I'm gonna help you out. What Leonard just talked about is what we call in our era, institutional racism. Critical race theory gives you a clearer definition of institutional racism. That's probably why it came in 78 and probably went out in 79 and was only used in courts. Because the theory, like it was a theory, was either contested or dispelled. Now, if you look at history, everything about anything that this man has done wrong has been publicly contested and dispelled. No matter how true it is, no matter how real it is, it has been dispelled. Well, why is that? Because we got to protect the lie. Another thing Leonard said that people really need to think about. Those who came here and so-called established this country, most of them were criminals. Let's just tell the truth. This whole country,
robbers, rapists, all kind of murderers. Yeah, robbers, workers, murderers, and all that. Yeah, go ahead.
It was considered a prison.
Yeah.
If you were royal, if you was poor in Britain, you would die by hanging or die by firing squad, or they would imprison you for a lifetime. But if you was royal or had any connection to the royal family, look it up, y'all. Your sentence was to the Americas. They would send you to America, the royal family would give you some money, food, things of that nature, and send you on your way to be banished from Britain forever.
Mm.
So if you take a criminal and you tell him, I'm not going to send you to jail, I'm sending you over here, you can't come back. You think he's going to stop his criminal activity?
No.
No. He's going to take that criminal mindset with him. You know, I've seen a couple documentaries to show you what I'm talking about. I've seen a couple documentaries that said that we all know they never caught Jack the Ripper, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen a couple documentaries that said that they never caught him because he came to New York. He never went back to Britain.
Mm.
He was cast out of Britain. So he came to New York. And if you look at the time that Jack the Ripper was doing what he was doing, and you look at some of the New York publications, you'll see that New York had serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I don't forgot what the premise of your question was, but I'm just going to say it. In terms of critical race theory, ain't nobody been teaching no critical race theory. Listen, here's how this man has to operate. He has to create a boogeyman. He has to.
Mm-hmm.
In order to maintain power and perspective over what everybody else is doing, he has to create a boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
He has to create a weapon of distraction and or oh my God, man, what we used to call it in combat. It's the most effective thing. A decoy. You make the enemy look over here while you coming in the back door.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that they brought that up now, listen, America, all our listeners, that was just another way to take your attention off of what is real and genuine
Mm-hmm.
and put it on something else and give you a boogeyman. It was another pull at the boogeyman. It's just like, I'll give you a prime example. When Adolf Hitler did not want the German population to mix with the African Americans, he dropped leaflets from planes in the towns of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is real. This ain't nothing made up. I ain't never Googled it because I seen the leaflet with my own eyes. He dropped these leaflets from these planes. When the leaflets hit the ground, they say that there was it was on a little parachute, and connected to it was like a loaf of bread, right? A half a loaf of bread. So he dropped the leaflets. For the people in the town, of course, they see something falling out the sky. They realize it's not a bomb. They hit the ground. They go pick it up. It's a piece of bread wrapped in this leaflet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they hungry. They gonna eat the bread, correct?
Yeah.
Let me tell you how psychological this thing is. When you unwrap the flyer from around the when you unwrap the leaflet from around the bread, you got the bread in your hand, you eating. The leaflet has a message on it. Guess what the message was, Raheem?
What's that?
The Negro American soldier got him in his combat uniform. He's standing there, he's looking dashing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the bottom of the leaflet it says turn over. When you turn it over, he has now transformed into some kind of beast.
Mm-hmm.
built up like, you know, like the hawk, with a tail
Yeah. Yeah.
coming out his butt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I ain't done, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
With his third leg hanging down below his knee. And guess what he got in his hand, Raheem?
What's that?
The bread. He eating the bread. So psychologically, what did you just tell these people? And I man, cats told me about it, I didn't believe it. I got in school, and my professor, whose family was Jewish, German Jews, they remembered. They gave them the leaflets, right? And then I started thinking about, we used to go to the malls. At the mall in Germany, it's not like the malls here where you go and you just see a bunch of young folk.
Mm-hmm.
No. Malls in Germany, these old folk, man, I mean old. They get out, they walk, they be at the mall, just walking the mall. And I remember walking past an old German couple, several, at the mall. And every time I walk past one of them, do you know they literally stopped and looked at my butt?
Mm-hmm. They were looking for a tail.
They was looking for a tail, man.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
They was looking for a tail, man.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the psychology that has been used. This critical race theory thing, it ain't being taught. But they need a boogeyman, bro. Because everything that they doing is looking like, everything they doing to modern society is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So if you doing wrong, you gotta justify it. Critical race theory puts this ideology in these folks' mind that what they did on January 6th was justifiable.
Wow. Wow. Hold on. Let me go to Leonard, and the phone lines are open. 508-924-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. And whether you agree, disagree, let's have a conversation. Let's have some dialogue. Give us a call. 508-924-3521. We got a guest that's gonna come on with us in just a few minutes. This brother's doing some amazing things. He's doing some amazing things. He's gonna talk about his business, and we want you to very give him all of your attention. Give him all of your attention. And if you're in this area, you definitely want to be a part of what he's doing. He's going to help you in a mighty, mighty way. Leonard, what's going on, brother? What's on your heart?
Oh, I was just listening. And actually, what people have to understand is that, one, you don't have to stand around staring in disbelief at what's going on. Go read it. Go read the history. That's what history is for. It's written so that you can go back to it and understand. Like Curtis was telling you about the Negro propaganda campaign, is what he was talking about. Do you realize that racism was so horrible that Germans, business owners, particularly those people that own bars and things, would have to ban American soldiers because white soldiers would come and try to fight black soldiers in German bars? Think about it.
Wow.
No, World War. White folks over there attacking black people in German bars, fighting blacks in the streets of Germany. Because remember, they didn't want black folks in there no way.
Yeah.
So even then, they still attacked. This is why they came up with Negro propaganda campaigns, because they knew about the racial unrest in America and what America was doing to African Americans. So every time you went to fight somewhere else, the enemy would have a propaganda campaign to say, "Hey, look, why y'all fighting for them?"
Yes.
It wasn't that they wanted you to fight for them, or they cared anything about you, because they were racist as well. But strategy dictated that they tell the Negro and try to destroy morale of the soldiers, to get the soldiers to desert, to get American Negroes to desert the military.
Mm-hmm.
because that would benefit them. You know, that's why
Wow.
you have to be careful about
Mm-hmm.
that bread, whose hand is holding that bread,
Yes, sir.
because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know their intent. So it's not that you were trying to convert black folks to being Nazis. You just didn't want them to be fighting against you
Mm-hmm.
in battle. And
Mm-hmm.
this is old school. You know, it has evolved and been used in several campaigns of war. And people have to understand Critical Race 3 that came out of a lot of things, and why your kids are taught Black history facts about Thurgood Marshall is because Thurgood Marshall, as part of the NAACP movements and things, had put his legal career into civil rights,
Mm-hmm.
into fighting. This was, you got to remember, it didn't really start. I'm a 70s baby, early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, you know, we was just coming off of a bloody time in our history.
Mm-hmm.
And all these new programs and things started coming, and it looked like America was trying to do better, but we still had that little that sneaky stuff going down in the South. They were practicing a little bit here, and then you're like, wait a minute. Then you had racism in your unions. Even the poor working class fight was mired by racism.
Mm-hmm.
So the history of the matter lets you know the truth of it. And who's still trying to hide the truth but the devil?
Mm. Wow. Wow. It is 8:10. I told I guess we'll have him on about 8:15, but we're gonna go ahead and pull him on in because I want to let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about what he do. This is a good brother, man. This is a good brother. I'm gonna pull him in. Mr. Snell. Mr. Snell, are you there? Mr. Snell, he's frozen. He's frozen over there. I'm trying to get him in, but I see he's frozen over there. Trying to get him to unfreeze. Mr. Snell, we got a little situation going on with your feet. I saw you move for a second.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Can you hear me? Good
I'm
deal.
very well.
Good deal.
And good morning to everybody else out there.
Good morning. Good morning.
I can hear you fine.
Good deal. Good deal. Good morning to you as well, sir. I wanted to bring you in, brother, and he is a part of Spotlighting Georgia. He's actually a part of Spotlighting Georgia, and you all know when we talk about Spotlighting Georgia is where we bring in the businesses from the Georgia area together and have them to network and to help and grow each other. Mr. Snell, tell us exactly what you do.
Well, I'm an owner operator of a fireman's agency that's locally located right here in Snellville, Georgia. Now, that being said, I actually transact business throughout the entire state of Georgia, specializing in business.
Specializing in business. Okay, good deal. So tell us some of the services that you provide for the community and for businesses. What are some of the services you provide?
Well, again, like I said, we protect what I like to say, we protect current and future assets. And most businesses that operate need to operate with some type of coverage, if no less than a general liability type of policy. General liability policy will protect that business owner. As far as services, I can provide policy reviews, to see if you are adequately covered, undercovered, or possibly can save you money on premium, which is important.
So basically what I'm hearing you say is that, man, you look out for the money. You look out for the money and make sure that the business is able to stay in business because of the services that you provide for that business.
Well, I like to say I look out for the business and the person, and I like to build and grow a relationship. And as long as I have that person's best interest at heart, the money takes care of itself.
That's good. Now, how long you been in business, sir?
I've been in this location coming up on 10 years right here in Snellville. I've been in the industry over 30.
Good deal. So it's safe to say, with you being in the industry over 30 years, it's safe to say that I could be comfortable, or the people that's coming to you can be comfortable in knowing that you know what you're doing. You've done it a couple of times.
And I've been around the block several times. So, and what I always like to say, the industry of insurance is extremely dynamic. It's always evolving, always changing, like other industries. So what I do know is that, what I know. But let's say something comes up that I don't know by chance. What I'll tell you is that it's something we'll learn together. Where I will research and find information and the data that's out there.
Okay. Now, what is, and this is a question I know people have, and I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to go to, we got a few other people here with us as well, and they may have questions too. So I want to yield myself and let them ask the questions that they may have. But what is the benefit, and on a personal level, not business, on a personal level, what is the benefit of having insurance, and why some people decide not to get insurance?
Well, protection. The biggest element of insurance is protection. I always like to say it's for just in case. And I mean, if you ride around in metropolitan Atlanta area and you just listen to some, especially the stations that are geared towards, African American audiences, you can sit there and count the commercials from all the attorneys, from the Jay Sanders, the Neil Fitz, the Mondelez and Associates. I mean, I can write down a list of probably 15 to 20 different attorney firms that are advertising. Why are they advertising? Because of the lawsuits. Accidents, as far as auto accidents, occur and happen every single day in Atlanta. Now, the majority of them are fender benders, but there are some that go beyond fender benders where people are, and there's even a loss of life at times. And if you don't have enough coverage and insurance, you're risking your home, you're risking businesses, you're risking rental property, you're risking future income. You can, if the accident is severe enough and it's your fault, you're responsible, they can find in favor of a judgment to that person that is hurt, where they can't take all of your income, but they can guarantee a portion of your income to be taken for an extended period of time. And that's just by not having enough insurance.
Wow. That's good. Curtis, I know you're still with us. Curtis, do you have any questions? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here, bro. I had to hit my mute button.
Okay.
No, not really. I was just curious. Can he operate? Is he licensed to operate nationally, or is it just regionally?
It's the state of Georgia.
Okay.
See, Curtis he's actually in Baltimore, and I'm sure he wanted to acquire some of your services. That's why he was asking that particular question. Leonard, are you back with us, Leonard?
Yes.
Okay. What's on your heart, brother? Have any questions?
Can anything be insured?
Alvin, can you hear me? I think we're having some issues with his feed.
I can hear you fine.
Yeah. He wanted to know. Leonard wanted to know, can anything be insured? I had to get Alfred on the phone, get him to call in on the phone line, because we're having a little issues with his feed there. I think we're having some issues.
I can hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah, he wanted to know, can anything? Yeah, he wanted to know, could anything be insured?
Well, you know what? It's a good question. The better question is, what do you have in mind to be insured? I mean, there are different companies that, to answer that question, you have something like Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London, for extreme cases, they insure like Mariah Carey's legs, or they'll insure like a quarterback's arm, or a rare piece of fine art or statues, that cost millions of dollars. So to answer that question, yeah, most things can be insured. I mean, the better question is, what do you have in mind? I had a case yesterday where a gentleman, I'm figure out how to provide coverage. The gentleman lost his dad, and the dad, he says probably about $100,000 tools. The dad was a mechanic, and the dad has $100,000 worth of tools that he's having shipped from the state of Washington to here in Georgia. So we're trying to figure out how to cover, that's an extreme value, $100,000. You want to make sure that that gets here, in the same shape and condition that it left. You want to make sure that none of it is stolen. So,
Yes.
I mean, I haven't had that as a question or scenario until yesterday, but we're going to find out how to make that work.
That's good. That's good. Toy, you with us? Good morning. How you doing this morning? Toya, you there?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Doing good. We're talking to Mr. Snell this morning, and he has a very successful insurance company here in Snellville, and I wanted to know, did you have any questions for him while we have him here this morning?
Yeah, you said Mr. Snell.
Yes.
I had a teacher named Mr. Snell. Is his first name Wally?
No, actually Alfred.
Okay.
That might be his cousin.
Okay, teacher.
That might be his cousin.
We all cousins.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But Toy, do you have any questions for him this morning?
Okay, no, you said insurance?
Yes. Life and business.
So like life and business.
Home
and auto.
Sure.
Home and auto.
What you said home and auto? I thought you said life and business.
Yeah, everything. He covers all of it.
Oh, okay. No, this is about business. What about coverage with food trucks or food trailers? How does that work?
That can be done. We can quote that. Is that a business you're already involved in? Okay. I mean, we can. Okay.
And I'm probably gonna get it going next month. And I'm about to start looking at the insurance, and I didn't know, how that went, because technically, from a state aspect, it's technically not a food truck. It's actually a barbecue trailer, which they don't have certain restrictions for. So, but just to satisfy the county.
Well, you're gonna need at least general liability.
General liability.
Yeah, general liability for that business.
Good deal.
And Raheem mentioned something earlier. Say again for me.
What would general liability cover on my point?
What will it cover?
It's going to cover your business. It's going to protect you in the event something happens and you're sued, which happens every day as far as business goes. It can cover. It'll help.
Trailer. Would I be covered? If it was, like I said, I built it. So if I was to drive down the street and it fall apart because I built it by hand, would that be covered?
Well, it won't cover the maintenance of it, but it'll cover. Let's say there's an accident involved in that particular vehicle. It will cover either replacing it or it protects you for that.
Okay, let me throw something in here. If she's driving down the road and hopefully this is gonna help the situation what we're talking about right now. If she's driving down the road, she says she built it herself, and see a boat would fly off her trailer and hit somebody's vehicle. Is she covered in that instance?
Absolutely. Right.
Okay.
That's where your liability, it protects that when that other person sues you, hopefully not, but it will provide the coverage, to make sure that you can take care of that lawsuit.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Mary, I know that you're with us this morning. Mary is my baby girl. She's my youngest daughter. She's with us this morning. She's actually in Virginia. Mary, you have any questions? And good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm okay. I don't have any questions though.
You don't
I
have
really know much about insurance.
Okay. Cool beans. Leonard, coming back to you, brother. You have any follow-up questions?
I'm not sure how. One question I do have is, can you hear me, Raheem?
Yes.
Okay, one of the questions I do have in terms of, when term life insurance first hit the markets and became popular, and we know that common terms are usually, I believe, about 20 years. The process of reestablishing that once you get to that period, is it an extremely higher rate due to the ending of the term, or do you usually switch to maybe at that time, maybe a whole life for investment purposes, or the success of getting a decent new term?
Leonard, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You are dead on target, my friend, this morning. So to answer your question, term is a great product. It serves a great need. Insurance is on sale. People always want something on sale. They want to spend the least amount of money for the service, the product, and I give them the same way. I'm extremely frugal. Now, point to your question, the younger you are, the healthier you are, is when the insurance premium is going to be the least amount. So I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say a 20-year-old says, I need $1 million worth of coverage. I got 3 kids and a wife. For a 20-year-old, they can get term is served in increments of 10, 20, and 30. 30 is a common term for a term policy. That 20-year-old can more likely, if they're healthy, in good shape, which most 20-year-olds are, they might be able to get a $1 million policy for $35 a month. Okay. So in the example, let's say nothing happens. We're going to fast forward that same 20-year-old to 50 years old. The term is over. Now, exactly to your point, if they have not acquired a whole life policy along the way, the cost of the new policy, the premium, first of all, they can get a new term, but at 50, they cannot even get a 30-year term anymore. They're too old now. It has a cutoff. After you get a certain age, around 47, 48, you can't even, and that's the industry standard. Nobody will offer you a 30-year term. And the reason insurance companies do this, insurance companies, I like to call them, they're the biggest and the best gamblers that are out there.
Right.
They're playing the statistics. They're very good at playing the statistics. So what they do, the likelihood of that person, living out, the odds start to diminish. So back to my point I'm making, if you haven't secured a whole life policy in your youth, now you're 50, that term goes away. Even a term is going to be more expensive. My daughter works at Delta Air. She had a that was about to retire. She was part of her group benefit at Delta. She had never done nothing along the way other than that group policy. She was turning 65. When she started getting quotes, she couldn't believe the price. You're 65 now. You should have secured something when you were 35.
Wow.
So,
but great
question.
Because
what I'm looking at is because I'm one of those people who got a term policy. Of course, even then, I was flagged, so I pay an additional premium for blood pressure. So $76 a month term policy for, I believe it's 20 years. Well, it's actually a 30-year policy, but it's only like $275,000. And I know that because I'm getting to that age, that I'm going to have to come up with a new insurance plan. And basically, it's going to have to be to probably drop maybe $10,000 or so and purchase a whole life policy because it's very expensive. Are there any other products coming along to address this issue? Because it's an open market and people need the insurance because they're living longer. So
that's true.
Is there a new product coming along to address those issues?
Let me ask you this. When you mentioned $10,000, is that what you are in the market for? Is that for like a final expense type of situation maybe, or in addition to what you have in term?
One, it'll be to replace once that term expires. because I know I won't get
Right.
a decent rate. So my next thing is looking for a product. I know it's going to cost. It's like a business investment.
Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, again, not knowing your age, and we don't got to disclose and all that
50.
kind of personal stuff. You jumped right to it. I like that. So, you know what? And you can do your own research, and you can contact me back for information. They do
Yes,
have
sir.
something called an Index Universal Life. That's
Gotcha.
an IUL.
hmm
Now that is you mentioned investment. That's an investment type of life insurance. Okay, so it acts as a life insurance policy, but it also acts as an investment account to supplement retirement. I have one myself. Farmers, the company I work for, we didn't offer it until about the last of 6-7 years, something like that. But
Right.
it's been around. It's been around for a lot of years. It was a hidden secret. And you can get my contact information. I'll give it to you. I mean, I'll give it out anytime, Raheem. But we can set up. We'll set up. I have an associate of mine. We can set some up on the Zoom for you without any commitment, but for you to at least get the information. Now, at 50, again, it's going to be more expensive for you than it will be for a 40-year-old. You put your age out there. I don't mind put mine out there. I'm 61. So I have an IUL. I have what else? I have an IUL. I have on myself 2 or 3 policies. I mean, I sell insurance, so everybody in my family is covered. From my wife has multiple policies. My daughter has multiple policies. My grandkids have policies. So it's what I do. And again, you know, our culture, in my opinion, is underserved and don't have enough information. You sound pretty knowledgeable, Leonard, to be honest. You know, you just need maybe a little more help, a little more direction. But for us, I'm sure we've all seen it. You know, something happens unexpectedly, and most of the time it's unexpected. They will gravitate towards the family member who they think is doing okay. Oh, you got the big house, you got the cars. You know, we need the biggest contribution for you to help put family member away. You know, I've experienced this myself. Or we'll have the GoFundMe account, the on Facebook, or the car wash, and because nobody was prepared, and our priorities were never in the right place. Where, you know, the young people, they'll spend $1,200 on a Louis Vuitton purse or whatever that stuff costs, or the fellas are spending I don't know, $1,500, $2,000 on some 22-inch rims. And, you know, hey, you know, do you got something covering yourself? Or, and even the parents, sometimes they don't realize they can take the policy out on the kids, where again, lock it in when it's inexpensive and cheap. That way, if something happens unexpected, you know, you're not just relying on pass the hat.
Now, do you sell burial insurance as well?
Well, you know what? I don't have anything that's literally called a burial policy, but I have what's called a guaranteed issue. The guaranteed issue is it can go as low as 4,000, and I want to say maybe as high as 30,000. And for this product, it requires very little of an underwrite. See, you know, every policy, all of them are underwritten, and especially a life insurance policy. They're going to look at your height, your weight, your age, and they're going to pull what's called an MIB. MIB is similar to a credit report. It's the report that follows a person or a doctor's office, and you sit down and you start filling out that information on that sheet. That's attached to your MIB. It's going to show your medical records. It's going to show your prescriptions. And again, back to how smart insurance companies are. If a person is diabetic, does that rule them out from getting a life insurance policy? No, it does not. But you know what? They're going to be what's called rated. They're going to pay more premium because they're at a higher risk. So back to the guaranteed issue, the guaranteed issue requires probably 3 questions. No medical exam. Were you basically were you in the hospital last night in the last 24 hours? No. I forget what the other two questions are, but after that, if I take the application today, it can be approved probably before 5 this afternoon.
Okay.
But
wow.
Here's the caveat. Here's a caveat to that. That particular policy has a 2-year wait on it in order to pay out. In order to pay out to the beneficiary whatever the benefit amount is. But here's the cool part about it is, God forbid, if somebody takes that policy, something happens before the 2 years, the insurance company just return the premium. So there's really no loss. Whatever you put into it, if something happens on the 1 month before the 2-year anniversary, all that little money that got paid in the premium, they just send back to your beneficiary. So there's no loss.
Gotcha.
And again, people don't realize that being out there and not having information, you could protect family members, seniors, with something rather than nothing.
Yeah, exactly. We got a few other people here with us. I want to make sure that everybody, if they have a question for you, Alfred will be able to ask you that particular question. Let me go back to Curtis. Curtis, you got anything that's on your heart, brother? Curtis, you there? Okay, Curtis may have stepped away for a second. Toya, what to talk to me?
Yeah, I need you to repeat that. What was that last comment about 2 years?
Well, on the guaranteed issue, if I write a policy on John Smith today, just make a name up. John Smith is going to have, we issued a policy today, we collect the premium. He would literally have to make, what's the day? The day is the 21st. He would have to live until 1/21/2024. That's 2 years. That's 24 months. In order to, let's say we did it for $25,000. We made Mary Smith the beneficiary. To pay out the $25,000, he has to make it 2 years, literally to the day. Once he's over that, then we pay out the $25,000 to Mary Smith, his wife. Let's say something happens before the 24 months are up. Let's say he was paying $100 a month. $100 a month is $2,400. Let's say it would be $2,300. He dies 1 month short. Then we would take the $2,300 that he's paid and send that back to Mary Smith. So there's no loss.
That's good. That's good. Let me go to Goddess. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
We're talking to Mr. Snell here. He actually has his own insurance agency here, and want to know that you have. I know that you're in another state, but I want to know that you have any questions for him.
I like the IUL. I've been listening. I like the IUL. That's very interesting.
Yeah, the IUL is actually tied.
I have no questions for him. Basically, I have some advice for him. The shipping thing that you wanted to do for whatever customer or client that you had, you might want to look into Freight Quote, and if you can get somebody to pack it like it's supposed to be, they will do it, and then you can insure it as much as you want it to be insured.
I appreciate that tip.
Good deal. Good deal. Hey, we all learning across the board here. Badger, you have anything? Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm just glad Leonard let me know it's not that one. So most of the insurance you do is what, for housing, life, and things like that?
Correct. Housing, life, business, auto, commercial auto.
Pretty cool. I mean, I dig a lot in all that insurance stuff. So I don't have a whole lot of questions. I've been primarily listening and things like that.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Well, I say I was gonna keep you here for about 15 minutes, brother. I kind of extended that a little bit. I hope you don't mind. But I want you to give everybody contact information if they want to get in contact with you on any source that you want to give out right now. Please do so.
So my office phone number is 470-321-3185. I'll repeat it, 470-321-3185 is you can access my website at alfredsnellfarmersinsurance.com. Will be, a wealth of information on my website where you can email me anytime at Snell, so that's ASNELL at farmersagent.com. I welcome any questions at any time. Whatever I can do as a resource, I'll be more than happy to extend any information I can find.
Good deal. Good deal. Any other? I can't even talk now. Any other information that you would like to give before we get out of here?
That's about it. Well, that's all I have. But I hope everybody has a great, productive, successful day, and I appreciate this platform.
Man, I definitely appreciate it because you shed so much light on it, man. I definitely appreciate you taking the time to come and check us out, and make sure that you check him out also on Spotlighting Georgia, spotlightinggeorgia.com. He's actually there as well. And thank you for that support. Anybody have any questions before we get out of here? Anybody have any additional questions? Okay, good deal. I think we answered them all, brother. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate you. All and right. We'll be talking very soon.
All right, no problem. Everybody have a great weekend.
All right, you do the same. Now, with hold on, Mr. I didn't get a chance to ask you. We were talking about the critical race theory earlier. Did you want to comment on that? I know you was listening in to some of the things you were saying. Did you want to comment on that before we get out of here? Before you leave?
You know what? I did. I came in on it, and it's very interesting. The one comment I guess I would throw out there is the fact, I think Leonard mentioned something, and it seems like there's a certain segment where they want to erase the past, and to me, you can't just put a big eraser on the past. I'll go to the analogy of sports. I'm a huge sports guy, so why do we record Super Bowls? This was my thought process when I was listening. Why do we record Super Bowls? Why do we record NBA championships? Why do we record baseball championships, college championships? First of all, everybody's driving to win the game, win the season, and become a champion. Once you become a champion, that is something that can never be taken away. You're a champion. So would anybody ever want to go back and erase that part of what they had to work for, bleed, sweat? It's just, nobody would ever want to do that. How far back those kind of things have been recorded. So the analogy is, to me, why would I want to go back in my past, my ancestors' past, at any point, as far as them, same thing, bleeding, sweating, working, no matter how hard it was, no matter what they had to face in them days and them times, why would I not want that to be part of all history?
Though it can be, some of those things that you mentioned could be very painful to relive and to go back, because there's a lot of pain that's associated with our history and stuff like that's tied in to that era. But I also have to say it played a part, because actually, this is another thing that Leonard say all the time. I don't want to change certain things because it made me who I am today. The hurt, the pain, whatever I had to go through,
totally
it made me who I am. It made me who I am today. But at the same time, that does not mean that it hurt any less, though. It doesn't mean that it hurt any less. Leonard, what do you say to that, brother?
Well, you know what? I was gonna wait till the brother was off because I didn't want to tie him into controversy. And but one, just we're gonna just since it came up, like I said, I'm gonna bring it up because it did. He mentioned Lloyd's of London. Great history spot to go to. Guess what Lloyd's of London insures? They insure slavery.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now think about. Do you know actually what an individual universal life policy does? Everyone has one. but you're not the beneficiary.
Mm.
Every social security number is an account number based on the market. They insure everything because they have an history.
Use your phone, Curtis.
Because they have a history of insuring weird things like that,
Mm-hmm.
whether good or bad. They insure every, not that particular company. I'm not going to say that particular company, but they had to dissociate themselves here recently, really try to dissociate themselves against that history that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things people have to understand about individual universal life is the whole theory and controversial you heard about your social security number. It works just like an individual universal life fund policy. And even I know this as well, because even in the military, we're insured as soldiers.
Wow.
For this very purpose, for the American government. But just because we insure it does not mean that we're the beneficiaries.
Mm.
And do you know that you could put money in individual unit life to avoid paying taxes and actually use the money tax-free because of that fund that's set up? But you don't learn that unless you do what I did. I went and learned and went to school to get a license at one point. And I watched the products change and what they're offering now to insure certain things. Now, think about all the people, if you had extra insurance, and you may not know it. Some of you have insurance on your credit cards that you're just paying. Some of you have insurance on different notes that you may be paying for your cars. You're in the middle of a pandemic. What if that pandemic caused you a loss of some type?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You might need to go look. When you can't pay your bills and you purchase things with credit cards, check into that. That's why you're paying that insurance, because it insures you against loss. That's what it does. We need to stop thinking of it as just something you get when you die, which made it unattractive to some people, especially if you don't think you're going to die or you don't care about what happened after you die.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So people, we fight for insurance battles in the activist place areas for this very reason. That one, it's so hard to get people to understand we are insuring people, and wealth is built on passing money from one generation to the next. How do you think they have been doing it? And so now you live and work all your life and you died almost penniless and can't even afford a funeral. When you could have invested that money in a policy, you could have been making money, growing the money, and using the money all the time you were alive. I wish I would have taken advantage of that little goofy looking white boy with the kitchen curtain tie when he was trying to teach me at 18 years old about insurance.
Now, why you got to call the man Ty Cookie?
Because he was goofy looking. He was a big nerd, Gargamel looking dude. But he was cool people. He was cool people. But he was teaching insurance. And I was only 18 at the time. And now that I'm 50 and haven't gotten into the insurance, I understand it better now. I understand. My grandmother had 13 kids. She insured all of them. But she insured them so she could bury them.
Yeah. And see, and that's one of the reasons. And that's one of the reasons why I appreciate Mr. Snell so much, because he comes on a situation like this, and he gives us the information that we need. So a lot of people won't do this. Stuff that he brought forth and that he talked about, a lot of people ain't gonna tell you that stuff, man.
It's a hard
they ain't gonna tell you that stuff. So, Snell, Mr. Snell, I definitely appreciate you, brother, and coming back to you. Anything on your heart?
No, I'm good, but I knew Mr. Leonard was smarter than the average bear. I could tell by some of the questions he asked.
Yeah, exactly. He's sharp now. I'm not gonna say the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he ain't the dullest either now. Mr. Snell, I know you got a lot going on, brother. I definitely appreciate you. Anything before you get out of here?
Hey, y'all just have a great weekend.
All right, you do the same, brother. Appreciate you. Curtis? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, talk to me, big bro.
What's on your heart, brother? We got a lot of information going on. This is Black conversations. They know how we do. What's on your heart, brother?
What's on my heart is that foolishness that Mitch McConnell said to the whole nation yesterday. That's what's on my heart. You ain't hear it? Y'all ain't hear it? Y'all got an Instagram?
Oh, I posted it. I posted it on my Facebook page. What he said about the
you did that was foolish, man.
About the
and it go back to. Do y'all remember a while ago? Me and Leonard, a while ago, we was on the radio and we was having a conversation, and basically the conversation had went to kind of like the social divide.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Leonard had a conversation after the show. And we was talking about the social divide. Do y'all remember that show? Where I was like, I always felt it a problem. Like, I've been around the world, and you often hear us being talked about as other.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are an extension of American citizenship as opposed to being American citizens.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second, Kurt. Let me play this real quick. I'm gonna play this because I do have it on my page here.
Absolutely.
If this is what you're talking about, I think this is it here that you're speaking of. Let me unmute it.
What's your message for voters of color who are concerned that without the John L. Lewis Voting Rights Act, they're not going to be able to vote in the midterm?
Well, the concern is misplaced because if you look at the statistics, African American voters are voting in just as high a percentage as Americans.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Without saying, he considers us as other.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it was a word kerfuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look up. What was that other word you just kerfunkle?
That's one of the words you got to pull out the big dictionary for. That's one of the words you got to pull out the big dictionary. You can't just use it. You can't use the small dictionary to find that one. You got to pull out the big dictionary.
Now y'all know I'm like Jesse Jackson at times. Jesse, you'll make up a word.
No, bro. No. Look, no. That is an accepted word. Actually, that is an accepted word. It's used in change of effing up.
It's accepted by who?
No, well, actually, the real word is kerfuffle, but kerfunkle is the accepted urban word for effing up.
Okay.
If you didn't know that, I'm just saying that happens to be what it is. That's why I laughed when he said it. Because just like Mitch McConnell. Hey,
I'm gonna give something they don't do. I'm gonna give the props to whom it belongs. I don't know if y'all remember this, but all of us, we came up when Madden first started.
Man, you're right.
Madden hid all the time on the Madden game. I don't know. It just looked like it was a kerfuffle.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna say maybe it was a word kerfuffle, and maybe somebody on his team, soon as he finished, walked out that room, said, "Sir, you should have said that." And he probably ignorantly looked over and said what? And they said, "Sir, you just separated the black vote. You just made the black folk feel like they're not American citizens,
bro."
Or maybe he had that person standing beside him, like, what's that boy name? I ain't even not Steve Bannon, the other one, the one that used to try and hide his baldness when he was on national TV. What was his name? The Jew that hated Jews. That worked Orange Man campaign. He was the one that wrote the immigration policy. Oh God, I can't remember his name. The disgrace to his family. That's what I call him. So maybe he intended to do that, but at the end of the day, that was a poor excuse to use
Mm-hmm.
for why y'all ran up there and voted against voting rights.
Mm-hmm.
Why y'all voting against a piece of legislation that gives the whole entirety of America, not just black folk,
Mm-hmm.
not just Latino folk, not just Asian folk, not just Mexican folk, not just minority. It gives the whole entirety of America the day off to do the most sacred thing connected to democracy.
And before
Mm-hmm.
you move on, Raheem,
Yes, sir.
I definitely want to address what Kurt says, because Kurt, by saying what he said, he just proved why critical race theory is important. Because I know Kurt comes from he's probably done a lot of study in things, education and sociology. Guess which is one of the major tenets of critical race theory?
What's that?
The othering process.
Mm.
That is a major tenet of critical race theory. So let me tell you what Mitch McConnell did by just that statement. Guess what used to go in the first section that he used the word African American? Guess what used to go there?
What's that?
Come on, man.
The word nigga.
Mm.
Niggas vote just as much as other Americans. That's what he meant.
Yeah, yeah. Come on.
The othering process says this: once I can convince or accept that you are the other, I'll do anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
Long as I separate yourself from being as having as much value as me, I other you.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's an othering process in sociology, which happens to be one of the major tenets of critical race theory. The othering process.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
You just got an excellent class on that by just watching him say that.
Mm-hmm.
He othered you in his statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can't say, remember, he used to could say nigga.
Mm-hmm.
To separate himself from you. He can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So now he makes a sentence, African American, and then stumble, then other American. What other American? What did you mean, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Could you clarify that for us?
Mm-hmm.
Because you were lying in the first place. That's one. But then again, you went and you spilled out evidence of the racial problem plaguing America.
Mm-hmm.
You somehow believe that I am of less value than you. So everything you do has this distinction in it that you use to other me by.
Yeah.
It's racism.
508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. If you feel any way differently than what we feel and what we're expressing right now, give us a call. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Toya, you want to see what's on your heart?
Yeah. Well, one thing is that this has always been their mindset and mentality. One of the wrong things we don't pay attention to, what Leonard just said about Lords of London has a lot to do with what we got going on. And the power of this Constitution and understanding where it came from, we should always understand why they think us another. If your mom and your dad get another kid that's not blood, he's still another. And that's how they feel. And that's the purpose of this Constitution that they draw up for us. See, here we go again. We keep giving this power to them in this Constitution and their laws instead of the Most High. But to them, we'll always be an other. The demons will always know that we are others. Now, what are we going to do? Now, so he says what? That we've been voting the way we always been in an election.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's right if we haven't been voting.
Mm-hmm.
And we all not and have not been utilizing our voting privileges, and they've been coming in at a low rate, let's say 15%, and it's still 15%. He's right. Because we still ain't making no moves. Now, We know we made movement. We know the numbers went up. So now we blatantly see again that he's a bald-faced liar like the rest of them. Again, what are we going to do? We keep going through this cycle. We keep talking about it, but we don't get these doggone people up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
The majority knows, man. It don't matter what we sit back and talk about and tackle about and think. The fact of the matter is, for all of our lives, these same people been in there. And the majority of us, the people, continue to allow this power of them to rule.
Mm-hmm.
When God still is the most high. So they're always going to feel like we're the others. The demons are always going to know that we're not like them. And they're the ones that are in control past these laws, and we still walking around like we have no power. These people have to go. And listen, let me tell you something. As a human being, you have every God-given right not to like me. I don't care, but I promise you, when I come on the scene, the only one that's going to be uncomfortable is you.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not looking for anyone to like me, especially not crazy, silly white people. It's some crazy, silly black people, Chinese people, whoever. I'm going to call you out, all who you are, all right? If you're white, you're white. That's what I'm going to call you. And if you're silly, I'm going to call you a silly one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel that you have the right, because as a human being, as a manager, I'm going to find a way to help people. That's just what I do. As a human, just as a freaking human being, I love to help people. I love to come up with ways to be better, do better, encourage people to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember those dark places. But now we're talking about these people that are running our government. What are we, the people, going to do other than keep on having a conversation? We had this conversation in 2010, didn't we?
Yep.
Then we had this conversation in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
We had this conversation in 1977, too.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's why little old me, I'm tired of talking. Some things I don't say stuff no more. They block me so much on Facebook. Y'all see, I don't even get on social media no more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even bother no more.
Yeah.
I ain't getting a message out because, again, we the people, we have to do something. And if this means that Leonard, Raheem, Rico, who else on here? Kurt, God, she already making waves. That means that we need to go be the next governor, a senator, a commissioner, or something. We need to get to doing that because they're going to destroy us if we don't.
Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
To be quite honest, I'm mad.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to keep track of all the bills and stuff and been so focused on some health insurance that I didn't see if they passed the bill for Texas when it comes to the critical race theory. They passed it.
Yes, in Texas.
And I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, even with COVID, I might go down to Austin. I'm sitting here, and from my understanding, when they mark something like a line through part of the bill, when they're revising it, that means that they're taking it out of the bill, correct? Is that right, Leonard?
They mark through it so you remember that it was there, but it no longer is applied, and here is what replaces it.
So they mark through Native Americans, the history of Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
They mark through George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Sally Hemings, Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from a Birmingham jail, and I have a dream speech. None of this, they can't teach that in class anymore. Some of the most powerful things that has been said in America, talking about the issues that most of us struggle with or are aware of, is literally being taken out. I'm absolutely just infuriated. The fact that they have the audacity to take out not only people like Martin Luther King, but also history of Native Americans. I'm glad I don't own a gun.
And Texas is
and
such a test bed for foolishness. and then Florida follows suit.
Mississippi's got one going through too.
Yes.
So like here we are, you know, trying to teach and educate the younger generation of the things and the experiences that the human beings have gone through for being a different race, to the point of being taught that are they even going to be aware that any of this happened? Any of it, unless they're taught at home. So they're going to go through school barely knowing who Martin Luther King is. They're not really going to know anything about Native Americans unless, you know, they go to a reservation or just so happens to meet one. But, you know, they get to learn the complexity of the historic relationship between Texas and Mexico and the diversity of the Hispanic population in Texas. But everyone else don't matter.
Wow.
People need to wake up their little brains and start looking at this stuff. If you want to choose to stay ignorant, y'all might want to stay away from me for a couple of weeks.
That's good. That's good.
Right.
Yes, sir.
After he finished, can I say something?
Go ahead. Go ahead. He's done. Go ahead.
Brother, my heart is with you. You hear me? My heart is with you. Because unlike many, I actually understand that part of my heritage too. Every once in a while, if you look at my page, on May 15th, I post a picture of a lady. Look at her. She's all indigenous American. That's my grandmother, right? But I don't know if this is going to comfort you, but I'm going to say it. If you pay very close attention to the names that you mentioned, all of them were pretty much assassinated in one way or the other. The question for me is, and has always been, even when I was a child, is why was these people assassinated? And when I got to a higher level of education, that level that says we want to teach critical thinking, and I started evaluating what these very same people were saying. Sitting Bull, what's the, oh my God, Geronimo, Martin Luther King, Abe Lincoln, and this list can go on and on. I realized that the words that they were saying would cause change in the world, not just in a given area. If anybody gets the chance, there's a book called Abraham Lincoln, Quibbits, Quotes, and I always forget the other Q. But if you read that book, not even read the whole book, if you just scan through the book and read a couple passages in the book, you will see directly why Abe Lincoln was assassinated.
Good deal. Good.
I don't know
Leonard,
who was guiding that pen.
go ahead. Go ahead, Curtis. Finish your thought, brother.
I don't know who was guiding that pen, but whoever was, they was massive.
Leonard?
Yes, sir.
What's on your heart, brother? And we have to change the subject. We're gonna go in another direction in just a second.
Just listening to Kurt and how Kurt is able to bridge the issue with Badger. Because it's the truth. It's the truth. Do you know how long it takes to bridge a lie to make a lie effective? If you just tell the truth, boom, it disintegrates the other team.
Yeah.
It makes you, like I said, that man on TV don't have a problem looking stupid. He's been looking stupid all his life. But he has all the power to do whatever it is he wants to do almost. And the people that gave it to him are just as responsible as he is. Don't come in here talking about how much you love the Lord and all this type of stuff and then tell me you voted Republican. Like I say, got to make sure you understand whose hand the bread is in.
Exactly.
So you take it. And if you take it from that devil and you start serving his wishes, then we going to know who you are. That's why they try to hide the fact. That's why they don't want to tell you who donate money to their campaigns. Because you will be shocked to realize that the same people that donate certain money to campaigns are the same folks that donated money to the efforts of the Confederacy. They're the same people that donated money to Nazi Germany to do what they wanted to. It's a network.
Actually, let me see. Can I get it back up? Let me see. Let me see. Let's go next here. I got this app on my phone here, where it actually I'm trying to get reactivated, but it actually tells who what company is reporting supporting what party.
And this is why people fight for that information to be made. That's why it's public, because there was a fight that happened that said, you know what, y'all gonna make it public so everybody can see. That's what activists do. Activists go and find these little things that are being used to subvert democracy, and we go out in the streets and we educate and put them on blast. So people can quit walking around acting like they don't know what's going on.
Now watch this. Toya with a T. Toya with a T, you there?
Yes, sir.
I see. I got this app on my phone. And it tells you company wise what they support and what party they support. Give me a company. Just throw a company out there for me. Huh?
Starbucks.
Which one? I can't hear you.
Starbucks.
Let me see who's Starbucks. Let me see. Starbucks. It says that Starbucks is 93% Democratic, 7% Republican. So 93% of their donations go to the Democratic Party.
Wow. How about Ralph Lauren?
Ralph Lauren. Let me get it in here. Hold on. If I can spell it. Ralph Lauren didn't come up. Let me see here. Let me go.
Polo. Try Ralph Lauren Polo.
Try Polo. Okay. 14% Democratic, 86% Republican.
Whoa.
Wells Fargo.
Okay, hold on. Let me see what we got here. Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is 49% Democratic and 51% Republican.
And you do know that the people you are mentioning, they've had class action lawsuits on discrimination.
Yes, they have.
And that's what people don't understand. Racism ain't went nowhere.
Anybody else got another company? Who?
Wells Fargo almost got closed down, y'all. Y'all remember that?
Oh yeah, they make them pay up the big bucks. They got serious commitments.
Got closed down because somebody leaked the books from back in the day. Because Wells Fargo used to be a part of, oh my God, it was something Express or something. It was that
Pony Express.
Not the Pony Express per se, but it was another one. It was the competitor to the Pony Express. Wells Fargo actually bought them out.
Right.
But Wells Fargo bought them out knowing that a lot of their money that they had, or what we now call our net worth, was strictly based in slave owners, and the slave owners would use their slaves as collateral to get money. So when Wells Fargo bought them out way back in the day, they bought them out knowing that they owned a large percentage of slaves. and they made money because then Wells Fargo, if I'm not mistaken, somebody help me out because I know somebody is versed in it. Wells Fargo then started getting loans from larger banks by using collateral what they had on their books, which 90% of their collateral on their books was not land, it was slaves.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some activity too, right? They were filed with a class action lawsuit on predatory lending in Black communities.
Yeah. And them
Yes, my son got caught up in that.
and what's the
Yeah,
BB&T?
B-
Yeah, BB&T BB&T had a lot of issues in regards to that. Any other companies before I put this app up? Anybody want to know about anything else?
Let people know what the app is, Raheem.
Goods Unite Us.
Okay.
Goods Unite Us is the app that I have on the phone here that actually tell you pretty much any company you want to know. They tell you who their political affiliation is. Now we're gonna switch it. We're gonna switch the subject right now, and we're gonna go a little lighter. We're gonna go a little lighter right now, and I'm gonna go to Mary. Mary, are you back with us? Mary?
I have indeed returned.
Mary, I need to ask you. I know the answer to this question, but I want you to, for the listeners, while you was in school, what teacher had the biggest influence on you?
It depends on which school you're talking about. But like overall, I mean, so like I kind of have to say my mom.
And and I can hear her now. Oh, anyway, go ahead. Teacher in the classroom teacher. Which one of those in classroom teachers had the biggest impact on you?
As far as my teachers,
Yes.
I don't know. I can't think of a all-time favorite. I have a favorite of every school that I went to, but I can't think of just like my favorite by far. I do think that my mom is better than them though.
Okay. So you don't have a teacher that was your favorite, that was the most influence on you?
Yeah, probably just my mom.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
She's more hardworking than so.
I thought you was gonna say the elementary teacher. What was her name?
Miss Taylor.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna say Miss Taylor. That's what I thought you was gonna say. Okay, but
elementary school it is Miss Taylor.
Okay, cool beans. Curtis, throughout your educational, your primary education, 1st through 12th, which teacher had the biggest influence on you, Curtis?
I actually had two, Raheem.
Yeah, we say which one had the most influence. Now you're gonna say two. I ain't gonna be two. Go ahead.
I had two because one they were from two different curriculums, and they were two different genders. My biggest influence is Dr. Hugh Carey.
I heard you speak of him.
He was my music and theater teacher, and my second name was, it is now, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Brenda Gordon. She was a white woman who taught, guess what subject?
Black history.
History. She didn't believe, she believed in the Black history movement, but she believed in history. She believed that blacks had just as much to do with history, if not more, than anybody. She's the reason how she's the person that taught us the first time I had ever heard about the real what happened to Ethiopia. Because remember when we was growing up, all the commercials you saw about Ethiopia was these people were starving and you see the flies flying around Damiano and everything and this, that, and the third. But she was the person who taught us actually what happened, why Ethiopia became barren, why you couldn't grow nothing there, why the grounds were so tendered and messed up. I didn't know that. And when she taught it that day, I will never forget it. When she taught it that day, brother, my mind opened up so wide to understand the destruction that man will cause behind the ideologies of being greedy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Badger, what teacher had the biggest influence on you?
Mine was I had two as well. It was a math teacher and a English teacher that taught me about my IQ.
Mm-hmm.
Also taught me to just do my best in research and focus on the things that I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
Which did do nothing but lead me into a lot of trouble. But very happy about all the amount of research and learning that I've done.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. And you said it was two?
Yeah.
Who's the other?
Oh, it was one was an English teacher and one was a math teacher.
Okay, got you.
I never got along with history teachers.
Leonard, which teacher had the biggest influence on you, brother?
Well, there is no one teacher. There's all my teachers. I was very much into learning.
Mm-hmm.
I was more interested in learning than anything. That was what my father instilled in us, is that there is no glory in being ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
None at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so I appreciated all my teachers because they were, I really enjoyed music. So those were my more expressive things. But there was a chemistry teacher, Mr. Robert Enzer, as well, who one of the comments I share with my children every day when I used to drop them off at school, and you'll hear me say it: always do your best. No one should expect more, nor should they accept any less than the very best that you can do. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember that little quirky man. I mean, boy, I used to make fun of everybody. So he was another one of them little short sleeve tucked pants shirt tucked in with the kitchen ties. Seemed like his wife made it from kitchen curtains. But the man was extremely intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, degrees in chemistry, biology. And he'll sit and say, and he talked funny. And he was, well, I really wish I would have gotten a degree in music, but it never seemed to be any time. And that's the type of guy he was. And he taught chemistry to the point where I used to go in at lunchtime to get extra help from him. But I enjoyed all my teachers, which is the reason why I have the advanced degrees in education, because I believe that education is truly the key. Education is truly the key out of poverty. Education is truly the key out of low self-esteem. Education is the key to freedom and liberation. So I'm very big. I enjoy all my teachers. I had a high respect for them. I may not have always behaved the way I have, but I should. But I got something important from every single teacher I ever had in my life.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Toya with a T, which one had the biggest influence on you?
Yeah, no, I have to say the same as Leonard. Listen, I said, couldn't nobody do nothing in school with me. Period. You know what I'm saying? I was a good kid, but when it comes to influence, motivation, I did what I wanted to do. So just being a kid, taught to go to school and listen, and I give people a hard time, I was cool with that. So that's what I did. You know, so I never really had any big issues with most of my teachers. I will say, I remember as a kid, I had some jerks. I think I went to school in the 80s, and that was the phase where I think some teachers just didn't care no more. You know, 2 out of 10 teachers, 2 out of 8 teachers might be the ones who really care and go above and beyond, and the other ones is like, please, I'm ready to away from these kids. I just don't remember being involved with them no more. You know what I'm saying? But the big thing, the root and the influence to education, I would say, was my dad. That was my teacher. Yeah. He had to reiterate everything that was going on, and he had to let me know, listen, girl, I can get past ninth grade, so I need to teach nothing else, so you can come home and teach me. And that was my motivation. Because you got to keep in mind, I was molested. So I had a reason to be distracted and angry and not want to do it and all that there. But the sole fact that I needed to help my daddy was why when I went to school, I had to pay attention and do the best that I could at being a good child, despite how I felt on the inside. You know what I'm saying? But I got some memorable teachers. I love music, but I don't remember my music teacher. You know, I remember I had one teacher. He was a gym teacher, and he would grab our knuckles and crack them. You know what I'm saying? Like I have some good teachers as far as I'm concerned. You know, but at the end of the day, when it came to influence, I was my only influence. Either I'm gonna do it or I'm not, and I'm gonna get along with the people while I'm doing it, or I'm gonna give you a hard time, or we're not gonna get along because I'm not.
There you go. There you go. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. I want to know what teacher had the biggest influence on you. What teacher had the biggest influence on you? 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. Let us hear about you and your teacher. Grades 1 through 12 or K through 12. Some people went to kindergarten. So K through 12. Tell us what teacher. I ain't with no kindergarten. I ain't had no time. I'm out there chasing bears. I ain't. But anyway, yeah, give us a call and let us know. Because a lot of times later, teachers don't get the appreciation that they deserve. Now, with this whole COVID situation where the kids had to stay at home and stuff like that, I think there's a greater appreciation for teachers, but they're still not getting their just deserve. I don't think they're getting their just
well,
deserve.
they'll never get enough on that if you're rating things on that scale. You know, if you want to really appreciate me, pay me more. Don't talk to me about how much you appreciate me, pay me more. You appreciate me because I'm babysitting your little brats. That's why you appreciate me. But we really have to relook at education for what it should be and always should be focused on. And it's just that, education. Educating children. And, you know, you have to have a commitment to that. You know, just the appreciation part, what have you. Even with my son's teachers, I always let them know I appreciate what you're doing, to the fact that whenever you call me, I'm going to be here. Whenever you need something, you can call me and I'll show up. If you want me to do this, that, or that, just let me know. And to be involved to assist them in what they're trying to do. That's the best thing you can do. If you really appreciate a teacher, and I know we have a lot of issues. You got some people that all they want to do is talk about education ain't this, education ain't that. Take it away and see where your children would be. Take it away and see what your children would be. The greatest motivating factor to increase economic success is education.
Yeah.
It's education. It ain't everything a lot of you Negroes sit around and complain about. The first failure is not graduating from high school. That's your first big failure. It's already indicative of your future. But then again, you'll have a choice to, hey, there's programs like GEDs and things like that where you can go. You can go to community colleges next. And if you can't go to, then you can graduate and go to a university and things like that. But your success is tied to your education. Unless you singing and dancing. But then again, even singing and dancing, go learn how to sing and dance better. Once they stop, look, a lot of rappers can't get on the game because they ain't got enough words.
Come on now.
I'm just saying, they can't express themselves. That's what make rappers so awesome, is because the way they express themselves and the technique that they use is like poetry.
Oh yeah.
You learn poetry in school.
And
you read
watch
poetry. You read poetry. If you don't read, guess what? You limit yourself.
And you know what? We got two rappers on the line with us right now.
Right. You know, Kurt hits you every now and then with them lyrics.
And Toya T got
you got Toya, who used to be going into the industry. So they have those talents to make words, say a certain thing, and put it on a record and all that.
And watch this. Toya with a T, you with us? Toya, you there? Do we lose Toya? Toya, are you with us? Kurt, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna try to get Toya with a T in on us. Toya with a T, are you there? Toya, you know I'm about to put on the spot. That's what I'm about to put on the spot, and she don't want to be put on the spot.
I'm with Toya on that.
Don't want to be put on the spot.
No, you could have sent me a check before the call.
All right.
Okay, watch this. I need you and Kurt because both of y'all. Leonard said that both of y'all could do the thing, and I said too that both of y'all are rappers. We talking about teachers right now. I want y'all to do something for me, man. Right now on this spot off the top of the dome, where y'all appreciating teachers. We got two callers. Callers, we come to you in just 1 second. Callers, we come to you in 1 second. Both of y'all do some collaborate together and appreciate them teachers. Help me out. Give me something. Y'all do it the way y'all want to do it. Y'all want to do it back to back, one off each other. How y'all want to do this? Tell me how y'all want to do it. Curtis, talk to me. How you gonna do it?
I can just grab her right after she go. I'll just grab it. I mean, hopefully I'm in that headspace, but I'll grab it.
Okay.
You asked me to do something I did in 25 years.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
There you go. Hey, I believe y'all got it. I believe y'all got it. Toya, you want to go ahead and start us off?
All right. I want to appreciate you all for what you do. I want to tell you thank you and I love you. All the little days that I came to school, you taught me how to count and how to call me boo. I don't really know what to say to you. I just want to thank you because I love you, boo. You taught me everything that I can really know. Besides my mother and my father, I couldn't show anything, but I can give you is the love I have. And everything I'm doing is because I have appreciation over everything you've done. And let me pass it over to Kurt Hunt.
Yo, I grew up holding a knife, son. All my life, son, I was trife, son. Until I met this man who was very understanding. His name was Carrie, a true Mandan. So I took the time and I sat down. I was real dumb. I was numb. He wanted to know where I was from. So he sat me down and he started to talk. And then all of a sudden he grabbed me and we started to walk. He told me that my life meant more to me than anybody in the class it should be. So I sat back and I listened. He gave me the words. So next thing you know, I started grabbing the verbs. Now I'm standing here and I'm speaking these words just to say, Mr. Carey, I love you, word.
Off the top of the head, y'all. Just on top. This wasn't prepared. I didn't tell them anything. I didn't say anything. They didn't know this was going to happen. It's just off the top of the dome. Good job, y'all. Excellent job. Now, Leonard Gritter spit something.
You're going to hit me with that raw digger, girl.
Leonard, it's on you, Leonard. Come on, give us something.
Did I tell you I was a rapper?
Leonard pulled out the violin, man. Leave him alone.
Oh, he played the music. He was the music behind it. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
The music in my head.
Exactly. Let me go to this young lady. She's on the phone line, and I'm so high and happy elephant lady and Porcupine proud to hear from her this morning. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
How you doing?
Hi.
You all right?
Hi.
Oh Lord, I don't know. Look, I don't know if we need to come to you right now because Lord, no, you look. You say stuff we ain't high. If you're high right now, we might not.
That's what I'm saying. My daughter was like, "Mama, you're not gonna chime in, are you?" I was like, yeah.
That's the best time.
Well, I got an easy question for you, though.
Okay.
Kindergarten through 12th grade, what teacher had the biggest influence on you?
Oh man, this is the easy one. Miss Kathy. She was my 9th grade homeroom teacher, and she told me I'd never be anything. She had the biggest influence. Yeah, she said you got a child. You're in 10th grade. 10th grade. She said you got a child. You ain't gonna never be nothing. You're gonna be right here in the hood. And that was the best thing she could ever say to me, because it made me determined to do what I did. And I was already an honor student, but that really influenced me to do better. And I became a teacher. I taught school for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And see that.
I just said, before we went to school, they was jerks. I just said that. Yeah.
But see, the thing about it, that's amazing because she took what she thought was a negative and you turned it into a positive as a motivation that made you go and do more than you probably, you know, I'm not gonna say that you probably wanted to do or that you probably would have done had she not said that thing to go. That lit a fire. Sound like that lit a fire.
Oh yeah, it did.
Wow.
It did. It did.
Wow. Wow. Mary, what's on your heart, Mary?
I'm just listening along.
Okay. Curtis, did you hear that, Curtis? She thought she said something negative, thought she was actually putting her down, or supposedly wanted to make Cassandra feel bad, but Cassandra took that part. And see, when we talk about motivation, sometimes it's not those kind, positive, them little sweet little words. Sometimes it could be something like that. You ain't gonna be nothing. You're gonna be just like your daddy. You ain't gonna be nothing. You'll be just like your uncles. You'll be just like the rest of them. You ain't gonna be nothing. Look at you walk around here thinking you're gonna be and a person could take that negative and say, hold on, I got to show you something. And Curtis, they could turn it and they could change their life. Talk to me, Curtis. Curtis, you there? Let me see. Make sure you're not muted. Oh, hold on. I had you muted. I'm sorry, brother. You probably talking away. There you go.
Yeah, you know what? I feel it. I got it. I can tell you her name. It scared the daylights out of her when I graduated. Her name was Miss Tillery. She was a French teacher. Grabbed me by my hair back then. Remember we used to have high top fades? I had the Gumby. And back then I was in the street. You know what I mean? I was getting high. I was just doing anything. And you know, I nodded out in the class. You know what I mean? And she came, man, grabbed me by my hair, dog, lift my head up like this right here, told the whole class, do not, how she put it, do not inspire. She used a big word. But you do not wish to be like this young man. He'll be dead before he's 16. And she put my head back. And guess what? I graduated with her daughter. And at my graduation, I got scholarship offer. Like the presenters actually did like a little thing, because when I graduated, I ain't ashamed to say it, I was 20 years old when I graduated high school. I spent 2 years in the 9th grade, 2 years in the 10th grade, right? So I was 20 years old when I graduated. And everybody at the school was kind of, you know, they was proud that I graduated, because I wasn't a troublemaker, but I was just 10 years old. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I was a misguided teen. I had no guidance. I had a lot of love from my family, but I had no real in vivo guidance. Like I was finding everything out on my own. My whole family is a family of workers. So everybody is, you know, my family coming in, going out, coming in, going out, coming in, going out. Ain't nobody really got time to talk, because everybody's going back and forth with their work. And, you know, when her daughter graduated, her daughter was actually in my class. I never knew it. I never knew that was her mama until the day of graduation. And I never forget it. She walked up to me after and she apologized to me, man. You know, because she saw my mom's. My mom showed up, and my mom's was going through cancer. And my mom's had that thing real bad. She was going through cancer, and she didn't show up with a wig. She showed up all bald headed. And you remember back in '92, you know, women didn't go bald.
Yeah.
And like, to have cancer was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it was almost like a death sentence, you know what I mean? And my mom showed up, and she was walking past with her daughter. And our daughter ran over and gave me a hug. She looked. And she looked at my mom's. And when she looked at my mom's, some of the things that she knew that I was going through, or she thought I was going through, some of the things I believe just by her look, she had put it all together. So she apologized to me. But I remember that, man. And back then, you know, you have high, you like, all right, whatever, lady, get some more super poly dent to hold your dentures in your mouth. You know what I mean? But I had that, and I've heard other stories of other people that has happened to, and they have become some of the greatest people in the world. That's why Cassandra is so great.
Absolutely. I'm gonna play this clip. I've played it before. It's been a while since I played this clip, and this gentleman, what he's saying, when I first heard it, it took me somewhere. And I said when I first played this clip years ago, I said that I'm going to talk to that guy one day. And God had blessed me to actually have a conversation with this guy, interview this guy right here. And now, he's actually on my phone. We at the point now where we call each other friends. But I want you to listen to the story that he's about to tell right now. It's a bishop. He's going to tell you a story. And at the end, we're going to talk about it. All right, hold on.
10 years old, and I held my mother's gun to my head, and I wanted to blow my brains out all over her wall. You must ask the question, why would a 10-year-old child want to die? 10 is a time to dream of being an astronaut, of being a soccer star, a football player, a preacher, a pastor, a doctor. But for me, life was so horrific, with so much vitriol and pain, I wanted to die. I'm the product of interracial immigrants. My grandmother was tall, white, and thin from Germany, and we called her French fry. My grandfather was a big, burly black man from Cuba, and we called him Hamburger. Hamburger met French fry and created a happy meal. And these two immigrants produced 7 McNuggets with special sauce. We would joke that we would have Wiener Schnitzel with salsa for Thanksgiving. My grandfather had to hide the fact in the 1940s in America that he was married to a Caucasian woman. But one wedding anniversary, he had a flaw. He liked to drink overproof Cuban rum. And one evening he was inebriated. And a man saw them together and said to my grandmother, "Why would you be a nigger lover?" My grandfather, with huge arms, lost his temper and hit the man in the jaw and broke his neck. The man didn't die, but he was injured severely. He went to the worst prison, convicted of the crime, Mansfield Reformatory in Ohio, locked down 23 hours a day. It hit the newspapers that my grandmother was married to this convicted felon and she lost her job. But being a German woman, she didn't complain or whine or woe is me. She began to work odd jobs, cleaning other people's houses and toilets, taking care of their children. But as she was working, she would have fainting spells, passing out doing her job. She went to the doctor and discovered that she had a tumor growing behind her left eye that was metastasizing to her brain. And the doctor said, "We have to take out a third of your face, your eye. You will be malformed and disformed and disfigured for the rest of your life." What do? The American dream becomes an American nightmare. She could not work. She was sick and mutilated. My grandfather's in jail, and day by day, they lost everything that they had acquired. They lost their house. They lost their car. They lost their furniture. They lost their dignity. They lost their self-esteem, and they were living in the streets like animals. My 3 uncles got hooked on heroin. They belonged to a gang called the Devil's Disciple. And my entire family became atheistic. No God, no prayer, no Bible, no hope. And my mother at age 14 was called by a pimp named Larry, who said to her, "What is school doing for you? You are sitting on a gold mine." She said, "Where?" He said, "You're sitting on it." And we call this being turned out. And little by little, she began to sell her 14-year-old body to grown men for money to survive. It's called turning tricks. And at age 16, she got pregnant. We call it having a trick baby. Two strangers meet for a business transaction and there's a mistake. The pimp said, you can't make any money having a baby in the oven. We have got to kill this baby. They kicked her in the stomach. They fed her alcohol. They gave her drugs. They took a hanger and stabbed the baby over and over again. But the baby would not die. The baby was born 2 months premature with no pancreas, a learning disability, a bladder too small, unable to function, a severe stutterer. We call it a trick baby. Nobody wants the baby. No hope, no future. Kill it was the word. That baby was me. I'm the lowest of the low. I come from the guttermost. I come from a hellish condition. And so when I would go to school, I couldn't talk. I stuttered so severely from the trauma. My mother had a madam who hated men. Her name was Dolores, and she was a sadist. And when she would watch me, she would take a broomstick and stick it in a place where no boy should have any object in his body. And when you are tortured like that, you learn 4 things. Don't talk, don't trust, don't feel, and pretend nothing is happening. And by age 10, I had had enough. I wanted to die. And in my school, they put me in a boiler room with other kids who were dysfunctional like me, where we would finger paint all day long. And yet there was a teacher, thank God for her, who had a Gideon Bible. And she came to my school and she saw kids like me as her mission field. And she would give me this Gideon Bible and read to me stories of dysfunctional characters who God used. She would say to me, Ronaldo, God uses greatly those who have been wounded very deeply. He will turn your pain into power, your wounds into wisdom. She had me read the story of Moses, who was also a stutterer. I began to understand that God did love a trick baby. Even as low as I was, there was hope for me and possibility. And when a child begins to understand the love of God and the power of his word and the possibilities, it changes everything. How can a young man keep his way clean? By taking heed according to your word. Your word have I hid in my heart that I may not sin against thee. I began to memorize the Bible, that Gideon Bible, reading 2,000 scriptures. And when you put that kind of word in a life, something begins to happen. My stuttering went away. I stopped wetting the bed. I stood tall. I became valedictorian, became a pastor, and preached until everybody in my family got saved. Why? Because somebody placed the Gideon Bible in a woman's hand that changed a life forever.
You better say that.
Yes! I was born a trick baby, but the trick was on the devil because of you and the power of the word of God.
Amen, amen, amen.
Wow. Every time I hear it.
Yes, sir. Yes, Lord. Yes.
Y'all go ahead, man. I can't say that. Y'all go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead, Cassandra.
Man, I'm about to cry. I can't, man. When I think about my life and what I came through with molestation, rape, being physically and emotionally abused, being rejected, by my own father, man. That right there. I'm telling you, when you have endured the type of pain that this man endured, the type of pain that I endured, the type of pain that Toya has endured, man, it gives you a strength that sometimes you don't even realize how you keep moving. I was 13 when I first tried to kill myself, 13 years old, 13. And I know the kind of pain that it takes to get you to a place where you don't feel like you want to live anymore. That man has a powerful testimony, but many of us have powerful testimonies of how we survived and become conquerors over whatever it was that the enemy wanted to use to destroy us.
Wow. Toya?
No, yeah. I mean, something that I know so true and dear, man. I was not. So I get that. you know, and for a long time I heard that message. Might have heard it before. Hold on, y'all. Hey, good morning. No, you're good. Thank you so much. But no, that's what God showed me too. You know, that same conversation. The same thing that God had to tell me before I woke myself up, decided, hey, I'm not playing for the right thing. Because I experienced that pain and fought with it for years. For years. So I know the power of what that man just said. It's not just stories no more. It's not just what my father and my grandmother been telling me. It's not just what the pastor said. It ain't just what society got beliefs about God. Another walking testimony. I think that's what I always been waiting on, right? Because when you ain't got no testimony, when you don't know that today everything's good, when you walk, it's your testimony. And sometimes you don't feel like that. I guess that's what that is. But walking in that testimony, just surviving was a testimony in its own. So listening to that man, I definitely understand because I had that same feeling, even though they weren't the same circumstances. My mind felt the same way. And then lets me see exactly how powerful the trick of the devil is. But we got to go back, like you said. Look at the people that God used in the Bible and all their flaws, because ain't nobody perfect. And we have to decide to separate ourselves and stand up and you're going to be who God says you're going to be, or who the trick, or who the pimp, or who the prostitute, or who even your mama and daddy say you're going to be.
Wow. And it was asked who was that. There was Dr. Ron Archer, Bishop, Dr. Ron Archer. And like I say, God has blessed us to become friends, and I could call him and talk to him, and great, you know, great brother, man, great brother. Mary, what's on your heart?
I'm just listening right now.
Okay. Kurt, talk to me, brother.
I actually heard that before.
I played it before.
Yeah, it was powerful then, and it's still powerful now. You know, it just goes to show you how awesome the power of God can be in a specific person's life. And how just because you're going through something, that don't mean that trouble going, as the Bible would say, trouble don't last always, man. It don't. You know, eventually, you know, something got to give. You know what I mean? But you know, I always tell people like this right here. If you think it's gonna be perfect, right, or if you think you ain't gonna have no problems or whatever, you know, I always tell people to read Job. You know what I'm saying? And not just read Job for the story of Job, but really pay attention to what happened before Job. Because if you pay attention to what happened before it actually goes into the story of Job, then it gives you comfort in knowing that, you know what, if it could happen to him, it could happen to me. You know what I mean? We got some people who call themselves saved and sanctified, but yet instead they not willing to admit that that same evil is sitting right amongst them. They'll curse you down and beat you down if you willing to say, hey, yeah, we're a church, but we not perfect in our faith. You know, if you read the beginning of Job, it tells you the angels went into heaven to give God account of what man was doing on earth. The devil came with them. So if you think, if the book is telling us that the devil went into heaven, if he went into heaven, what the hell make you think he can't come to a church? You see what I'm saying? And now my coworker chimed in, and this is my spiritual advisor. And she said, well, you got to remember, baby, he came from heaven. So in my mind, it is our task as human beings to understand the duality of being a human and to accept and be thankful for God's grace, his mercy, and the fact that God just want a piece of your life, that God want to play a role in your life. No matter what your life is, no matter how hard it is, no matter how discouraging it could be. You know, you remember that time we was talking about the light in the tunnel?
Absolutely.
Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
Do you remember what I said? right offhand? Do you remember what I said?
No, I don't.
I said, you know, I'm not looking for the light in the tunnel when God has shown me that I'm not looking for the light at the end of the tunnel when God has shown me that I am the light in the tunnel. How would I know I'm in a tunnel?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Yes, sir.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Bishop, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm blessed, brother.
Mute your line, Curtis.
Man, Bishop talk, boy, and that thing, man, really touched me. And I called in on that one.
Yes, sir. Talk to me, brother.
I was completing my honey-do list this morning, so I got everything that my wife had me to get done before 11 o'clock, so I'm done now. But I've been listening to the show, and I'm enjoying the show. And the teacher that was most influential in my life was my chorus teacher, Miss Rowena Denard.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the one who got me situated that I was able to sing with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra for 3 years and to pursue music. And I got a full ride to college for both band and for chorus, and in a letter of intent because I was a great football player. But I chose going to the military. But Miss Denard was very instrumental in me being the person that I am today.
Absolutely, that's good.
And the story, and I'm glad Cassandra is on the line, and I saw some of her procedures and where she was wrapped up, and thank God that he's a healer. And listen to Kurt, as Kurt was talking, and what he experienced growing up, and graduating from school, being kept back twice, and more so less. But to look at what he turned out to be.
Yes, sir.
And anytime I'm talking to somebody, and I'm not going to talk too long because I'm just calling in late and I beg y'all forgive me. But I always look in the mirror and say, God took a disgrace Greg and made it a amazing grace Bishop. Because I was out there in the world and I did a lot of things. There's none to be, praising about, oh yeah, I did this, did that. But I look at what God's brought me from. And that's why I choose to live for him.
Yes, come on.
And God is able to take and change you in the front of those who are your enemies. And they sit back in awe. And I believe the scripture says he make your enemy your footstool. So
that's right.
Those teachers that have negatively tried to say things to denigrate or to tear the young students down are the same stepping stone or footstool that we're standing on now because we're on top of the world, so to speak.
Come on.
And we didn't allow them to put us into a gut. So I'm enjoying your show, man, enjoying the great comments, man. My boy Leonard, boy, I love that dude. That dude right there. Ooh, Jesus, he can say some stuff, man, crack me up. And he said did he tell you he was a rapper? Did I tell you I was a rapper?
Yeah, he's a rapper.
But
he rap gifts.
He rap gifts.
Yeah.
But you forget. Now you know I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
I think I demonstrated the other day.
Reynolds rap. Reynolds rap.
What? You a Reynolds rap?
Reynolds rap. This is just kind of rapper you are. Reynolds rap. That's what we call you, Reynolds. But
hey, I ejaculate.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you something. That Bishop, man, his testimony is amazing, though, Bishop. His testimony is amazing. What he went through, what he had to endure to the age of 10, wanting to kill himself at the age of 10. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then to have Toya and Cassandra to tell their story about how they wanted to do the same thing, man. But God, like you said, God is a healer. God is a healer, man, and he could take, when you're going through certain situations in your life, man, he have a way to make it better and to pull you through it, and to pull you through it, and that's exactly what he has done. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? What do you think about that clip that I just played?
Man, when I was 11, I told Satan he could have my soul if he could give me the power to protect all of those that I love, because I didn't know any better back then. I've been through a lot myself, so I made a choice when I was at that age. So that was 24 years ago, about to be 25 years ago, that if I can fight evil spirits every day to keep them away from other people, then I'm living my life the way I feel I need to.
It's wow. This is so much. It's so much tied into this thing, Leonard. What did you hear, man? And I know you heard it because I played it before, Leonard. But what is that clip? Talk to me about that clip.
It's a testimony of a truth
Mm-hmm.
that you cannot deny. It's
Mm-hmm.
his story. It's unique. And it
Very.
should be heard so people understand what is going on. But also, it mentions the overarching theme is adversity
Mm-hmm.
should not stop you from becoming who it is you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the stories that are here are very progressive stories, and that's what people have to realize. Everybody's life has not been peaches and cream.
Mm-hmm.
And to sit here and try to paint some lily white picture of what you think everybody's life is, and then be bold enough to create a system that you created, completely disregards the
So Leonard,
majority of people.
let me say. So basically, what I'm hearing you saying is, though his testimony is amazing, Toya, Cassandra, Curtis Badger, everybody's situation is incredible in its own way. Everybody had an opportunity where they could have given up. Everybody had an opportunity in their life where they could have just given up and threw in the towel.
Right.
But see, but and somewhere somebody said to me is and I remember who said, I'm not gonna call their name out right now, but they said they got so fed up. They said, Raheem, I got so fed up, man. I took the towel and I threw in the towel. He said, but God threw it back to me, told me, dry my tears. We got some more work to do.
Yes. And that's the thing that is motivates me each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can honestly tell you, when I hear certain stories, I just listen. Because that's different than me.
Mm-hmm.
That story is important for people to know, to be shared with, to talk to
Mm-hmm.
other people. That there's somebody that listen to that as child who may be going through that right now. Right now. That message is different than my message would be. His
Mm-hmm.
message will touch people that my message won't.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it so important. Because, you know, it's not that I'm insensitive about certain things, but trust me, it's because my story is unique as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think that my story is better than anyone else's story, more tragic than anybody else's story. It's just mine. And that one, I'd be willing to share it with people if they were interested, if I thought it would help them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, for instance, when people hear this, people say it's not that easy. No, it wasn't easy when I was fighting back. It wasn't easy at all. But I fought like my life depended on it.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since the second, third grade, I would attack you for disrespecting me regardless. I didn't care who you were or who you thought you were. If you offended me, I offended you back. That's just how I came up. That's my story.
Mm-hmm.
I have always fought anyone that tried to oppose me.
Mm-hmm.
I
Wow.
recommend this type of for lots of young people to strengthen and encourage them. You don't owe nobody nothing that's not treating you well. There's no type of homage or respect you need to give to anyone that does not treat you well.
Mm-hmm.
Fight like your life depends on it. By all means necessary.
Mm-hmm. Cassandra? Cassandra, you there?
Yes, I am.
What's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, every time I think about, how my life could have been if I had not found God at 21. I think I've told this story before that my grandmother used to tell me, you'll never see 21.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you're mean, you're nasty to people, you're fighting every time, every time I turn around, you fighting somebody gonna kill you. That's what was spoken over me on a regular basis. And at 21 is when I got saved. The very time that she told me that I would die, I actually did die, but I died to the things of the flesh.
Come on.
And I was born into the things of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what has made the difference. And that's why I'm such a fighter. People don't understand. I'm not trying to be, no bad, I'm act like I'm so bad and this and other. But I'm a warrior, and it's crazy. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna stop. It's crazy because yesterday when I went to the doctor, it was these particular sneakers that I wanted to wear. I had gotten the sneakers, I put them away. I never even looked at them. Got them from the thrift store, and so there were some Converse, and I told my daughter, I said, I want to wear these Converse today, and I just felt like I need to wear 'em. On the Converse, y'all, I tell you no lie, I've never seen this before. On the Converse, there were some Chuck Taylors. On the front of it, on the top of the shoe, it says "The New Warrior," and I was like, "Wait a minute, what the heck?" I said, "I've never seen shoes with, especially a Converse, and it had the New Warrior across the top of it." And my ministry is warriors of worship and warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like God was giving me a message as I walked out the door, reminding me of who I am. I'm a warrior. I can't change that. That's who I was born to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Toya?
Yeah, I ain't got nothing this time running up, man. Great show, Raheem. I love y'all. Keep it going, man. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because we got stuff.
Exactly. And love you too, sis. Definitely love you as well. Let me see who else we got here. Let's see who we got on the phone line. Let me check my phone. Bishop. What's on your heart there, brother?
Man, another been said, I don't think this is it too, Cassandra. I will not even come behind that, man. Thank you for your journey. Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for your courage.
Exactly.
And thank everybody for their stance and where they are and who they've become. And that's it, brother. I appreciate you.
Hey, likewise, appreciate you as well. Let me go to Kurt. Kurt, you there? Kurt, you there? Curtis, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. Badger, what's on your heart?
I'm still really livid about this bill that I found. The issues that it's going to end up creating is too scary to honestly think about.
Wow.
So much of the history is just honestly not going to be discussed or even talked about or mentioned. And then they're going to sit there and talk about how, it was okay to be a Nazi and things like that. I'm really angry. Really, really angry. And I'm very, I'd be very, and the more messed up part of it is how much of society probably won't be or don't even know that this bill is actually in effect right now, or the fact that other laws are going to be passing it.
Wow.
So I will catch you guys Monday. I hope everyone has a beautiful and blessed day.
You too. Leonard?
Sir.
What's on your heart, brother?
Oh, I'm just listening, and I hope people take into consideration what Badger said, because that is what we try to do every day, is make people aware of what is actually going on instead of just mulling things around in your head. You got to get out and find out what's actually going on and what you need to do to stop it. You got to find out what it is and how you can fight it, because it's not going to go away without a fight. And we need everybody to join in the fight. If you are for righteousness, join this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's about. It's about the righteous against the unrighteous. And I don't care who say whatever they want to say about it. You can't explain to me why it's okay for you to oppress me and not say anything about it, and me not fight back, and me not stand up for myself. There's nothing you can say. It'd be better that you kill yourself in a room by yourself than think I'm gonna give a damn about you and your agenda.
Mm-hmm.
So pick a side.
Exactly. Back in the day, man, in Greensboro, when I was growing up in Greensboro, we had this little thing. People say they're gonna beat the brakes off you, they're gonna do this, and we used to ask them a question, simple question. Okay.
Okay.
But what am I gonna be doing while you're doing that?
Ask yourself that.
Yeah. Now you say you're gonna beat the brakes off me, you're gonna beat me down, you're gonna do okay, that's what you say. But what am I gonna be doing while you doing that? What you
think I'm gonna be doing while you doing that? And some of y'all been sitting down taking it. You've been sitting around going along with it. You've been making excuses for it. You've been pretending like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's why can't nobody stand you.
Mm-hmm. Why you beat me down and doing all? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I gonna be doing? Am I gonna? You think I'm just gonna be standing there and let you do it? Nah,
exactly.
It ain't that kind of.
You dealing with people in the government right now will come on camera off the floor and say, "Yeah, I think it's horrible that this is happening, and we shouldn't do this, and the moral character of our country," and then go right on the floor and vote the opposite way.
Yep.
Oh, we would do right, but that wouldn't look good to our friends. Because you and your friends are evil. That's why.
Exactly.
I don't care if you don't like. I don't care if your feelings hurt. Them your feelings.
How that song go? Pack your feelings or something like that. That song that's out there right now, man. It's about pack your feelings or pack lightly or something like that. You know, you're feeling you'll be okay. Leonard, what's going on at 3:00 today, man?
Man, if you did not get a chance to hear this show in its entirety, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Yes, sir.
At 3:00 Eastern today.
Well, we got to get you back in the saddle with that one, boy. You stumbled a little bit at the end now. You stumbled just a little bit at the end. Let me see. Toy, you with a T? You with this is? Toy, you with a T? You with this?
I'm hanging in there. I don't know how long though, because I'm on a train.
Okay, I want to see. Can you pray us out?
Ooh.
Come on now.
It's gonna have to be a quick one.
Okay.
All right, let's go, Father. We want to thank you for another glorious day, another opportunity, Lord. We want to ask you to covenant anointed and continue to do the best of this year, God, in your will and your name. In Jesus' name, we love you with honor, mercy, and praise. Amen.
Amen. There you go. Good job. Good job. Listen, it's been a great broadcast, man. Didn't know we was gonna go to the depth that we went today, but we kind of went there a little bit. But been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:11. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light of you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please be blessed.